my ability to say, no, I'm not eating that and not doing it, I actually kind of like it. And Sean's like, you're fucking sick. So something that's going on with me right now is I'm dieting. You know, I've got a trip coming up next week. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get into really good shape for this trip. And I like to do these things every once in a while. Not necessarily because of the trip, but because of what it does to me mentally. And what it does to me mentally is reminds me and fortifies the fact that my mind is so much stronger than everything else. My emotional state, my physical body, all of that stuff. And by me dieting and putting myself through this stress in the training every day and the 45, 50 minutes of cardio on the stairs, like every day, like all that kind of shit, like the crazy shit that people are simply unwilling to do, reminds me of how diligent, how, you know, and how I have to take myself to the max all the time and how I'm capable of doing it. Because sometimes when shit's kind of hitting the fan, it's hard to always remember that you're so much, you're capable of so much more than what you give yourself credit for. And by doing this stuff, it allows you to reignite that fire in you to recognize it. And I think that's what that's why I'm always trying to tell people where they're like, hey, you know, how do I know if I have it in me, or how do I know if I have the level of perseverance that you have, or the dedication, all that stuff. And I always tell them, I'm like, go get into this kind of shape. Go get, 4 to 6% body fat and be able to take your shirt off and fucking you're shredded. Go do that without drugs, like without any of that kind of stuff. Or with what, it doesn't even fucking matter, really. Like, seriously, it doesn't even matter. It's not like even with drugs, it's that much easier.
Just miraculously come.
No, it doesn't. You still got to work for it. Nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is, it's such a hard thing to do. And something that I realized the other day is how fucking addicted people are to food. It has got to be. This might actually even be a stat. If anybody wants to comment below if it actually is, that food actually is the number one addictive, whatever you would call that, substance, or, whatever, that people actually abuse. It's readily available. It produces outrageously feel-good hormones.
It's probably one of the only things that, like, you have to do that then can become addictive. Like, you don't have to smoke, you don't have to drink, you don't have to gamble, you don't have to, like, all these other things that people become addicted to, you don't have to do any of that.
That's a good point.
Right? That's the reason why it's probably the easiest to have as a slippery slope. Because it's like, you have to eat. So the amount of discipline then is required is that much more, because, like, you can't just, like, there are times where I'm like, fuck, I wish I just didn't have to eat. Like, it's too much time, too much fucking money, just the amount of bullshit. Because I try to eat healthy, right? Yeah. And so, I do eat healthy. And so it's like the amount of time it fucking takes to do all of this shit. It's just like, I'm like, I wish I just didn't have to fucking eat.
Yeah, of course. So like you said, the amount of discipline that this actually takes to get into good shape. That's another thing too. To get into really good shape is a different fucking ball game.
Yeah. Like, it requires me zero discipline to not smoke. Like, zero. Like, I never think about it. I never see a cigarette. I'm like, oh, I want to. That's a thought has never crossed my mind.
Or alcohol, like or drugs, or
nothing. Right. And so I think that's the thing, is that, like, when it comes to eating, because you have to eat, that's why it's the most amount of discipline required.
For sure. So yesterday on the phone, I was talking to Sean. So Sean hooks me up with, like, diet and stuff like that. And yes, I use a buddy that sets me up with a diet plan, but you don't need a fucking diet plan. The only reason why I use a diet plan is because, for me, at my point in time in my life, this is something that I don't want to spend time researching on, because I have so much going on that I leverage the knowledge of somebody that has the knowledge that can simply tell me what to do. But the knowledge is out there. If I really wanted to go do it and find it out myself, I could fucking do it. But I have so many things going on in my mind that that's something that I don't want filled up with, because that's not something that's going to necessarily, maybe in the short term, produce money for me. This diet will eventually, what I'm doing, help me to promote the meal prep company and stuff like that, because I actually am using my meal preps for my diet now. I was hoping to have the meal prep company ready, CanadianMealPrep.com, ready. A
little shout out there.
Yeah, a little shout out. I was hoping to have that ready prior to me starting. It didn't happen, so I'll advertise the fact that, hey, this is how I was able to get into this shape, and this is how I'm going to stay at this shape here. So the other day I was talking to Sean, and we were brainstorming on, okay, well, you've probably seen this. A lot of people, when they come off of a diet, especially in fitness shows and stuff like that, what happens? They just fucking fall apart, right? I don't want to do that. I don't want to fall apart. I've done this before, and yeah, everybody slips off and this and that. I want to stay fairly in good shape after I'm done this diet, and I'm not gonna get on this diet. I'm not gonna get like stupid shredded. This diet is the goal of this diet was to get maybe like somewhere between 2 to 4 weeks out if I were to do a fitness show. So that if I have something to do in terms of like maybe a new product launch, maybe, maybe we're doing like some new meals, or maybe we're doing some, clothing for Canadian Protein, or maybe we're doing like some sort of photo shoot, or I'm doing something for my personal brand or whatever, I can be like, okay, guys, I'm going to go hard at something for 2 weeks and I'm going to get into like really good shape. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. So I was talking to Sean, and I'm like, that's the goal. And he's like, yeah, no problem. We could do what we're going to do is we're going to take 4-week cycles and figure out, okay, well, if we do this is how your body reacts. If we do this is how your body reacts. So we're going to have to do some testing, right? And you don't actually know how your body's going to react until you see how it reacts to certain things. And he was like, well, how do you feel so far? And I'm like, I feel totally fine. And I told him the reason why I think I feel totally fine is because the end goal for doing this is so much more important to me than that 5 minutes of satisfaction while I'm eating. It's so much more important. And that 5 minutes of satisfaction can unfortunately throw all of that away. And it's moments like that when I do have temptation, where I'm like sitting at dinner across from people and they're fucking eating all that bread before their actual dinner comes out, or they're getting this big fucking plate of pasta, and I just want to like reach across the table and fucking strangle them for it or whatever, right? I don't actually get that crazy, but it's that type of mental fortitude that I told him, I'm like, when I'm actually out at dinner and I see that and I have like a craving for it, and I don't get like crazy cravings. It's not like something where it's like, oh my God, I am going to jump across the table and fucking strangle. I don't get like that. But my ability to say, no, I'm not eating that, and not doing it, I actually kind of like it. And Sean's like, you're fucking sick, because I love making my mind that strong where I prevent myself from giving in to stuff like that. And I know that it's that type of mindset that allowed me to get here.
Yeah, exactly.